there, I'm Kath. Welcome to my channel Made by Kath Craft. Thank you very much for joining me today. Whether you're an existing subscriber or whether you're new to my channel, I'm really glad to have you here. So today's vlog is all about my 5 favourite sewing patterns for skirts. This is my second vlog I've done in this series where I talk about my 5 favourite patterns for a particular garment. I previously did a vlog on my 5 favourite sweatshirt sewing patterns, and I'll put a link up here in case you want to check that out. But today I thought I'd talk about skirts, because as we're approaching winter, I think a skirt is such a great item to have in your wardrobe for winter and really flexible, but you can also wear it really well for summer too. So I've got a variety of patterns I'm going to show you for different fabrics that work well in winter and also in summer, and I'm really looking forward to sharing them with you. Before I start talking about my 5 favourite skirt patterns, I thought I'd share with you what I'm wearing today. So since I'm talking about skirts, I thought it would be fitting if I wore a skirt. So I've got on a skirt, I'll show you it. It's the Estuary skirt by Liberated. I'll just stand up so you can see. It's kind of a shorter version, and it's in this lovely rayon that I got on sale in John Lewis with kind of a cute little hot pink flower pattern on. And I've teamed up with a Freya top by Tilly and the Buttons, just with a mock neckline in a cotton jersey in navy. Kind of a classic top that'll go with everything. And I'll put a picture up here of the full outfit so you can see how it looks. So that's what I'm wearing today. But let's move on to my 5 favourite skirt patterns. My first favourite skirt pattern is the Estuary skirt by Liberated, the one I'm wearing, and so I thought that would be a good place to start when I'm talking about my favourite skirt patterns. So as I said, the Estuary skirt is by Liberated, and I've got the PDF pattern, and here it is, and I'll show you how it looks. So it's a skirt with a gathered waist, and it's got a button down placket at the front, but this is a sort of faux placket. You don't need to actually sew the buttonholes. It can be entirely for show, because it's got an elasticated waist at the back, just the back half, and that's plenty enough stretch there to be able to get the skirt on and off. So the buttons there purely for aesthetics. You can also add on these oversized patch pockets, which I think are quite funky, and it's designed to be made as either knee length, midi or full length, so there are a few different options on the length. And let me see what fabrics it recommends for this one. It's designed for woven fabrics, linens, cottons, rayon, denim. It depends on the look you want. So this one I'm wearing today is in quite a lightweight rayon, so it's really swishy and lightweight, and it doesn't sit very fully. And I find this works really well all year round. I've worn it with a vest top and with nothing on my legs in summer, and I'll try and find a picture of it dressed up for summer. And I've also worn it like I am today with tights and a cosy top for winter, so it works really well all year round. And I actually made this in just above the knee length because I feel like it suits me better. I did also make a version in a midi length, and I'll put a picture up of that version, and I actually ended up hacking that. So the original midi length version I made in a linen fabric, and when I ordered it, it was a little bit thicker than I expected, so it ended up being a little bit bulky, and it just felt too bulky as a midi length skirt. So what I decided to do was hack it off to a shorter skirt, and here is the shorter skirt. It's kind of like a mini skirt length here. So I kept the button down placket at the front, and I kept the patch pockets, but I made them a little bit narrower just so they fitted on the shorter skirt and didn't sort of dominate it too much. And then also, because this was my first time sewing this skirt and it came up a little bit large, so the elastic didn't really hold it at my natural waist, it kind of was falling down and slipping to more hip length. I changed the waistband, I took the waistband off, and I used the leftovers I had on this fabric to make a structured waistband here. So there's no stretch anymore, and I need the buttons actually to work, so I made them into a proper button placket that I can open to be able to put this skirt on. And I was quite pleased with this hack because I also managed to use some fabric from a pair of my husband's old pyjamas for the facing on the inside, so it felt like it was a kind of a make do amend type of hack, this one. And I'll put a picture up of me wearing it now so you can see how it looks. So it's kind of like an estuary skirt with a bit of a hack for a fixed waistband and a shorter length. So that's that one. And I also wanted to say about the estuary skirt that it's got quite a good size range. It goes from a size 0, which is waist 25 inches and hip 33.5 inches, to size 30, which is waist 48.5 inches and hips 57 inches, sorry. And I think for this one, I definitely recommend going by your waist measurement, because there's a lot of fabric around the hips because of the gathering, so there should be plenty of room at the hips, so definitely go based on your waist measurement if you're planning to sew this garment. And it's also worth noting this garment does need quite a lot of fabric, just because the skirt is quite full, so it needs quite a wide width of fabric. But it's a lovely one, and I'd actually be quite tempted to make a midi length version in more of a swishy fabric for summer too, because I think that would be really nice. I think I've got one more version to show you as well, let me get it. I get so much wear out of my rayon version that I'm wearing today, I decided to make another one in a similar vein. So I made this one here. This is another shorter version, and it's in this amazing Mind the Maker viscose twill fabric. So you can see the kind of, it's kind of leopard print, you can see the twill coming across the fabric there. And again, it's got buttons, black buttons down the front, a faux placket, because it's got the elastic at the back. And I love this one too, and it's another one that's really swishy, and it's another one that works great all year round. In the summer, I team it with like a black t-shirt or black vest top, and in the winter with a cosy jumper and tights. So yeah, I really like that one. And I really like that pattern. It's the Estuary skirt by Liberated. That's my first favourite skirt sewing pattern. My second favourite skirt sewing pattern is one that I would say is more of a wintry skirt pattern. So perfect for sewing at this time of year. And it's this one here. It's the Nina Lee Camden pinafore and skirt. So it's a nice pattern because it gives two different options that are quite different really, the pinafore and the skirt. And I've only made the skirt, although I would like to make the pinafore at some point. But if I show you the line drawing for the skirt, it's got a sort of fixed waist top, and it's got these really nice feature patch pockets with a kind of angular edge, and it's got an invisible zip at the back. So it's designed to be quite fitted, and it's got darts at the back too, so it really pulls you in, and it's designed to sit, I think, around your natural waist. And this one comes in size 6 to 20, UK size 6 to 20, and the 6 is a waist of 24 inches with hips of 33.5 inches, up to 20, which is a waist of 38 inches, to hips of 47.5 inches. And it really doesn't require too much fabric, this one. I think I might have even squeezed mine out of 1 metre of fabric, possibly. So it really, yeah, you can make it with very little fabric. And it's also lined, which I think is great. So I'll show you my versions. This pinafore is designed to be made in medium weight fabrics, so kind of wintry fabrics, with body. So it gives the examples of denim, lightweight wool, corduroy and velvet. And it's also designed to be lined, so you need to get lining fabric for this one too. So let me show you my two versions I've made of this one. The first version I made is in this black corduroy. It's kind of fairly chunky corduroy, and it came from Minerva. And so as you can see, it's got the invisible zip at the back and the darts. And then I use this, oh, I'll show you the pockets too, if you can see them. They're kind of quite nice. I like the feature of the angular pockets. And they're quite nice size to hold a few bits in there, some keys and a phone and that sort of thing. And I lined it in this cotton fabric with stars on that I also got from Minerva. And it's quite a classic skirt, this one. It looks really kind of grey on the camera, but it is a proper black. And I'll put a picture up of me wearing it so you can see the true colour. Now I lined that in the cotton fabric, and in hindsight I think something a bit slipperier would have been better, because I sometimes do notice with that one when I'm walking and I'm wearing tights, it can rub a little on the tights and work up a little bit. So when I made my second version, I chose a slipperier fabric for the inside. This is my second version. It's another corduroy one. I do absolutely love corduroy skirts, so I'm kind of addicted to them. And this one is in the most beautiful rust-coloured fabric. It's a Robert Kaufman corduroy that I got from Guthrie-Ghani, and I just absolutely love this colour. I think it's so autumnal and so rich. And this one, again, it's got the invisible zip, where you can see the little zip tag there. But and then I chose the zip to match the lining. And this lining is cupro. And it's my first time that I sewed with cupro. Actually, my only time sewing with cupro. And it's, I think my understanding is that cupro is quite like a natural, breathable fabric that's a good alternative to more of an artificial sort of polyester-based lining fabric. And it's really lovely and slippery and lightweight, so perfect for lining. I did find this cupro quite challenging to sew with. It slipped all over the place. It was a little bit tricky to keep under control, but it does actually provide a perfect lining for this skirt. And I can't remember where I got the cupro from, but I'll try and remember, and if I can remember, I'll put a link down below. But that's my second version, and you can really see the pockets there. And I just love that. I said I love the fat colour of that fabric, and that's my second Camden skirt. and I'll try and put a picture up of that one too and how I've accessorised that one with other clothes. I really like these skirts tucked in with a kind of chunky jumper tucked into them, or a crop jumper. I think they work really well like that for a snuggly skirt for a winter wardrobe. And Lee's pattern instructions are really good, are really easy to follow, so I definitely recommend that one for kind of a classic fitted skirt for your winter wardrobe. My third favourite skirt pattern is another skirt more on the fitted end of skirts, but it has quite a different style to the Camden skirt, and it's this one here. It's the moss skirt by Grainline Studio. And if you saw my latest makes vlog, which I'll put a link up here for, then you'll have seen I made one of these moss skirts very recently. So this one is designed for medium to heavyweight fabrics like denim, corduroy and wool. But it's a bit more of a classic kind of jean skirt, so I think it would look great in denim maybe for summer, as well as kind of corduroy for winter. So I think it's quite flexible. So it's got a front fly zipper with a button, slash pockets, and you can do a mini skirt length or a knee length with this additional bottom panel, which is an extra feature. Again, it's got darts. No, it hasn't got darts at the back. It's pulled in the back, not by darts, but by yoke. So it's a slightly different construction to the Camden skirt. So I've made two versions of this, and I'll show you those. This was my first version, which has got a button closure. And I made this one, I was quite new to sewing. So it was a bit of a baptism of fire because it was quite complicated with the slash pockets and the fly and everything. But I got so much wear out of it. In fact, it's even starting to wear a little thin on the back because I've worn it so much. And it's in this blue corduroy fabric with these pockets. I used some cotton fabric so they didn't end up too bulky, because I think too many layers of corduroy can lead to a bit too much bulk in the pockets. So I'm really glad I made a new one. Now I've just noticed that one is wearing a little thin because it's got so much wear out of it, and I've spent quite a lot of time playing with children on the floor and this sort of thing. So I added the bottom band, but I shortened the skirt length, so it ended up being more of a mini skirt length with the feature bottom band. And I'll put up a photo of me wearing this so you can see how it looks styled with a kind of casual top. I find this quite a relaxed skirt, the look of it. And there's the yoke at the back, so you can see how that brings it in nicely at the waist, so it kind of fits around the waist, this one. And that one is great because I found the measurements on this one really true to size. And particularly when you're making, I think, a fitted skirt, you really want it true to size, because by the time you get to the waistband, there's not much room for manoeuvre when you put the waistband on if it doesn't fit very well. So yeah, I thought it was really true to size. And this one doesn't have the widest measurements on sizes. It goes from size 0, which is waist 25 inches, hips 35, to size 18, which is waist 37 and hips 47. And the difficulty on this one is intermediate, so it's given 3 out of 5 of 5 triangles for difficulty, I guess because of the front zipper and the slash pockets. That's the moss skirt. Oh, and let me show you my more recent version. And this lovely chunky corduroy. I think it's a little bit chunkier than the previous corduroy from Stof Stil. And it's kind of like, I guess, a bit more of a refined version of my previous one. And I've got a more of a jeans button here. And I've got this lovely cotton fabric for the lining. And it's just all, the insides are a lot neater than my previous one. And I'm really pleased to have another version for when that one does wear out. So that's the moss skirt by Grainline Studio. A great one for winter, but I think, as I said, it will work really well in denim for summer too. The next skirt pattern I wanted to talk about is one of my favourite skirt patterns and was one of the earlier ones I bought. And I love this one because it's so multi-purpose and it really works across the whole year, depending on what version or what fabric you choose. And it's this pattern here. It's the Brumby skirt by Megan Nielsen. And so it comes in 3 different versions. It's essentially a gathered waist skirt, but the versions are all really different. So version 1 sits above the knee and it's got these deep pockets and kind of a jeans skirt style so dividing bit down the front where you can top stitch. Version 2 is midi length. It includes pockets and additional fullness, and I guess it's designed for a swishier fabric. And version 3 is like a basic knee length gathered skirt, which I think is a really useful thing to have a sewing pattern for. And it also, so yeah, it comes with these deep pockets and an exposed zipper, and the waistband is kind of contoured, which I think ends up fitting quite well. It doesn't jut out at the top because it is kind of slightly sloped, and it sits on the natural waistline. And so yeah, that's the pattern, and I really love this one. I've made I've made 3 versions actually, and I'll show you them because they're a bit different to each other. My first version I made was in this heavyweight denim, and it's a really wintry version. So it's kind of a proper jean skirt with all the top stitching. So I top stitched down the front and the bottom around here. And it's got a exposed sort of jean style chunky metal zip as well. And I really love this skirt. I've got so much use out of it. And I think it looks great with so many things. I'll try and find a picture of me wearing it so you can see how it looks on. It fits really nicely around the waist and it kind of puffs out. And I think the denim does give it a little bit more of a puff effect than a swishier fabric would. And I've lined the waistband with this fabric, which I made a pair of pyjamas in. So it's nice to use up the scraps. And the pockets are lined in that fabric too, so it's not too bulky with the denim. And yeah, I really like the exposed zipper detail. And I personally find Megan Nielsen pattern instructions really great. It was my first time doing an exposed zipper, but the pattern instructions were really clear and held my hand through it. So I really enjoy sewing Megan Nielsen patterns. And this one is another one where I feel like the fit is very true to size. You wouldn't want to go any smaller than your size because it really does fit and kind of hug your natural waist quite well. So yeah, that's a chunky denim version. And these pockets are enormous, they fit so much stuff in, so they're great. That's my denim skirt version of the Brumby. I've also made a couple of versions with lighter fabrics. And they're both kind of cotton lawn sort of type weight fabrics. I made this version here, it's kind of gold colour. And this was using a remnant, and again it's got an exposed zip in the back, which I think adds a bit of an edge to it. Again, it's a shorter version, but this one I didn't do the deep feature pockets. It's just got, I added in just pockets at the side seams because I do like pockets. So that's that one. And that, I think I had a metre of that fabric and it squeezed into a metre really well, so that was great. And then I also made this version, which I love, which has got its ice cream print on. Again, the exposed zipper at the back, and I also did some feature hot pink stitching there on the back and also at the hem. So I like that stitching. And this fabric, I had a bit left over, just under a metre left over from another dress I made. The Avid Seamstress day dress in this ice cream fabric. So I was really pleased when I had enough left over for this skirt. And I like how even though it is quite a full skirt, you can still squeeze it into a metre. I didn't have quite enough of the pockets, so I just went for white lining in the pockets, but that's fine because you can't really see them because they're just on the side seams. But that's that version too. And these two versions I think are great because similar to the Estuary skirt, they can be worn in summer with like a lightweight top and flip-flops or sandals, but also they're great in the winter too with tights. And I think they look really nice with add a pop of colour. Say if I wore like this plain navy top and this skirt together, I think that would look really nice for winter and add a bit of fun, even though ice creams isn't your classic winter print. But that's the Brumby skirt. The size range for that is size 0 to 20, 0 being 24-inch waist, 34-inch hips, and size 20 is 38-inch waist and 48-inch hips. And as I said, it's really flexible, this skirt, so you can choose a range of fabrics from denim and corduroy to silk and rayon. So depending what look and what version you choose, there's quite a lot of different options for that one. And in terms of difficulty, this is rated as 2 spots out of 5. And I would say, yeah, it's probably a slightly simpler sew than, say, the moss skirt, and there are a few less technical bits in this one. But the exposed zipper is the one bit that is a bit tricky and needs a bit more time and effort, but the pattern instructions are really good, so it's a good one to try if you want to push yourself a little bit with a challenge, but also have a bit of hand-holding through the tricky bits. But that's my 4th favourite skirt sewing pattern, which is the Brumby skirt by Megan Nielsen Patterns, and I love that one. My final skirt pattern I wanted to include in my 5 favourites is one that I don't feel I've explored as much as the 4 previous ones, which I feel like I've used quite a lot and I've got a lot to wear out of. But it's one I really love and it's a bit of a different shape, so I wanted to share it as my final pattern and one that I'd like to yeah, maybe sew again. And it's this pattern here, but I sew over it, and it's a tulip skirt. And it's a lovely pattern that's a really quick sew and quite straightforward, but I think has a lot of, you get a lot of bang for your bucks. It's such an effective, pretty shape. So it's a kind of fixed waist skirt, but it's got these pleats here, which and result in a lovely tulip shape to it, so it's a really pretty shape. It's got darts at the back as well, so it pulls in really nicely, and you can make it in a shorter version or sort of a knee-length version. It's got an invisible zip at the back, and the instructions in here are my go-to instructions for how to insert a visible zip. I think they're really clear, and I've made a couple of other patterns which call for invisible zips where the instructions haven't been as clear, and I've always gone back to these instructions and reread through them because I like how they explain the invisible zip. So it comes in a size 8 to 20, 8 is waist 26 and hips 36. I think that's the version I made, and that's about right size for me. And then it goes up to waist 38 inches and hips 48 for size 20. And it's designed to be made in a medium to heavyweight cotton, wool or crepe. Now when I made this skirt, this is my version here. And it's in a corduroy, like a really pretty red corduroy, but it's kind of like a baby cord almost. It's really soft and light, and I don't think it was the right fabric choice. I don't think it was heavy enough. So although it's got a lovely, you can see the lovely pleats, it doesn't give as much of a tulip shape as I've seen on some other versions. So I'd really like to try this again in a thicker, sturdier fabric to give more of an effect. But I do love this skirt still, and it's really comfy, and I think it's really pretty. It's a bit different with those unusually shaped pleats at the front. And the darts at the back are really well drafted. It sits just right on my waist. So I really like it. But I think I'd like to make this one again, as I said, in a thicker fabric, and also perhaps to line it, because this version isn't lined and it does stick to my legs a little bit. But when I made it, I was fairly early on in my dressmaking journey, so I'm not sure at that point I've been comfortable figuring out how to do the lining myself. But now, having lined a few other skirts, I feel more comfortable about adding a lining into this one. But I think it's a lovely skirt. And it's a great skirt that doesn't need too much fabric, but also is really good instructions for taking you through and holding your hand. So it's a great one as a good starter skirt to make. So that's that one. That's my final favourite skirt pattern, the tulip skirt. I guess it's more of a wintry skirt because it needs a thicker fabric. But I could easily wear my lighter weight one for summer, I think. So that's my top 5 favourite skirt patterns. But there is also one other pattern I wanted to mention, because I thought it was quite a useful one, and it's also free, so I thought it was worth sharing. And it's kind of more of a tutorial than a pattern, I guess, by Megan Nielsen Patterns. On their website they have a tutorial for a elasticated waist skirt, and I've made it and I really liked it, so I thought it was worth sharing. And this is my version. So it's a really basic elasticated waist skirt. You just use one piece of fabric, and there's one seam line down the side, and then fold over the top to make an elastic channel and just make a really straightforward skirt. And I'll put a link down below to the tutorial, because it's a really great one if you're a beginner sewer looking for a really basic skirt pattern, or also if you're a more experienced sewer but just want something quite quick and simple and that uses a really small amount of fabric. So I made this, as I said, I made this one here, and this is made in a lovely Lady McElroy cotton lawn with quite a funky print on it. And I made this because I originally used this fabric, I had a larger piece of this fabric, and I used it to make a dress, and it didn't turn out well at all. It just fit me horribly, it was not right, and there wasn't anything I could do really to salvage it. And I was a bit disappointed because I really love the fabric, but I had enough fabric left. I just had a really small piece at the end. I'd had enough fabric left just to squeeze the skirt out of it. So I was really pleased to be able to use the fabric. It hasn't got any pockets or anything, it's just really straightforward, but you could add pockets. And it goes really well in my summer wardrobe. I'll put a picture up of me wearing it in summer, and it's quite nice for winter too. Again, one that you could like layer over a pair of thick tights with like a chunky black jumper. But yeah, it's just a really great free pattern, really straightforward. And if you wanted something really simple to start your kind of skirt making journey, I definitely recommend that tutorial, so I'll pop a link down below. But yeah, I thought I'd just mention that as a little extra pattern. Oh, and I forgot to mention actually, on the free tutorial that's on their website, it also shows you sizings to be able to make like a child size version too. So it's quite versatile. You can make kind of matching ones, like mum and daughter matching ones or something like that, because as it says, it includes dimensions, how much smaller to make the fabric for a child's version. But yeah, just a really straightforward elasticated waist skirt. So that's my 5 favourite skirt sewing patterns. I hope you've enjoyed hearing about them, and it might have given you a little bit of inspiration, perhaps if you're thinking about sewing a skirt for winter, or maybe even thinking ahead to next summer for a swishier summery skirt. I hope you've enjoyed seeing how I've styled them and the tips and things. If you have any other favourite skirt patterns, I'd love to hear what they are and why you like them, because I do love a skirt and I'm always interested to find out what other skirt patterns there are out there, because I'm sure there are quite a few. I'll hopefully be doing another one of these 5 favourites vlogs at some point. I need to think about what to do next. I find some garments it's really harder to choose the patterns than others, but I've got more in the pipeline. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love it if you click the subscribe button and also the bell icon so you're notified of my future vlogs. Thanks again for watching. If you have any questions about any of the skirt patterns, do let me know, drop me a line. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you again. Bye bye.